They do. But acknowledging that, it's very different at home. Because the emotional attachment that you have to your children is very different than the emotional attachment that I have to your children, right? When I say to your daughter, no, that's not okay, done, right? When you say it, it becomes a whole different, the emotion becomes engaged, right? And then either you're going to react in a positive way and it's fine, or if you're tired or overwhelmed or just don't want her to do it, you're going to react a little bit different, and she can sense the tone, right? The tone is different straight away. They know that with parents. So it's a matter of what we were talking about a little bit earlier is, as a parent, first of all, as a parent, one thing surprised me was my children loved me no matter what. They loved me no matter what. Sometimes they didn't like me. And as my daughter got older, she would say to me sometimes, I hate you, and she'd go and lock herself in her room. And I just had to be okay with that, because at the end of the day, I knew she was going to come out of her room at some point and say, I'm so sorry I said that to you. Didn't really mean it. They have those emotions, they just have to get them out. But there is a line between being liked and being loved. They're always going to love you. I mean, look at some of the children that are horribly treated and they still love their parents, right? They're going to love their parents no matter what. But it's our job as the parent to foster so many things in those children. We want them to be good humans, right? And we sometimes have to be firm and say, you know what, no, I'm sorry, that's just not all right. And you have to be firm and you have to follow through. The follow through is important. One of the things that I struggled with my son, I had a really hard time saying no to him. And he got older and he got older and he got older, and the older he got, the harder it was for me to say no. And I just felt this awful weight on myself. And then I had a parent once say to me, I had a father who had twins, a boy and a girl. And we were having this kind of a round circle discussion, a parent evening. And we were talking about how hard it is to say no to your children. And he was a very emotional man. He was sort of teared up. And he said, can I say something? And I said, yes. And he said, I worry about my daughter. He said, I worry about those boys who have not been taught no by their parents. And when she says no to them when she's a teenager, how are they going to react? And that struck me. That was a huge, huge piece for me, where I just thought, he's right. He's right. If my child is not that he's not used to hearing no, but he's not used to accepting no, what does that mean for the people that he encounters as an adolescent and an adult? And that's when I sort of had to, it's really hard to say no to your children, but the older they get, the harder that no is. The harder the acceptance from them as well. So as young as you can start to be very firm about what you want or what you're accepting from them as behavior, the better. But anytime, as soon as you realize that you need to do it, start doing it, stay firm. That's the hard part, stay firm. The quicker, the more that you can stay firm and get through that piece, then it's gone. Then when no comes, they know that you mean business. But if you keep on giving in, and then you've got this giant child who isn't hearing no from you, again, what are we creating?
So let's assume you do it, between 0 and 6, you're going to have tantrums and a lot of horrible things. So how do you deal with that?
Lots of talking. Things like, I know that you're upset, but we can't do that right now. Would you like to come and sit by me and have a little bit of a cuddle? Come and cuddle with me, but yes, it's still no. Right? So you're offering the support, but it's still no. It doesn't have to be confrontational. It doesn't have to be a really ugly scene. It can be come. I know how sad you are that I'm saying no. I'm still saying no, but come and let's cuddle it out. That sort of thing. That's
what if it doesn't work? If it becomes an ugly scene?
Okay. For me, not from a Montessori point of view, but sometimes I just had to say, okay, you know what? I need you to go and sit in your room for a little while. Just go and sit in your room for a little while. And then we'll talk when you're calm and I'm calm. No point talking to them especially as they get older, no point talking to them when they're, and I've had that situation here. I have had a child in here that went from 0 to completely falling apart in about 10 seconds, and I didn't understand. And as we've been working, now we're at the point where, it's a situation where she keeps bothering people, and I keep saying, and then she'll come and say, well, so-and-so's doing that to me, and I said, but remember this morning you did that very same thing to somebody, and look, now it's come back to you. So it's taken 5 months, But now when she comes in the morning, she comes to me and she's, I'm not going to bother anybody today. And we have this lovely day where because the talk has been there, where I've been saying, okay, remember. Or I've been saying, no, but see, you just did it. You just did it to him. And now he's come back and he's doing it to you again. And so now he's going to do it to you, and then you're going to do it. And it's just going to be this continuous thing that goes on. Or you can just stop. And when she realized that she could actually just stop, then that's when, you got to take that small milestone, that small acceptance of something, and build on it. And it takes effort. It takes all your emotion. It takes physical stamina. But the main thing is stick to what you've said.
And after a while, it gets better.
It does get better. It does get better. These environments are proof, right? The other thing that was explained to me once that took me a long time to figure out, but children need boundaries. If they don't have, if you don't say this is the scope in which you can operate, then what they do is they get somewhere and then there's no boundary, so they go, okay, well, I'll go until the boundary says, okay, that's it. You cannot, I don't accept that. Then they know, okay, when I get to that point, I better stop. I know that's my point, right? So there has to be, otherwise they just keep going. Like with my son, he just kept going, right? And everybody was saying to me, you're spoiling this child, and I couldn't do it. I was afraid that he wasn't going to love me.